I am Lawrence Chuno, and this is Doing Jazz. Hello everyone, my name is Lawrence Chuno. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and welcome to Doing Jazz. It's been a few weeks since the last episode. The reason is that as a college professor, I was really busy for a good part of December, taking care of some end of semester business. I will try and get back to regular weekly schedule in the new year. This episode is with pianist, vocalist, and composer Kelly Green. Kelly's playing and compositions show a level of musicianship that only someone with a deep understanding of the jazz tradition could attain. The ease with which she combines playing the piano and singing would make you want to know more about her art. These attributes can be ascertained in her new album, Life Rearranged, a collection of 13 carefully executed arrangements. I have listened to the album several times, and I have seen her perform the songs, and I will go ahead and say that Life Rearranged is one of my favorite albums of 2017. Kelly has worked with some well-known names in the industry, including Christian McBride and Steve Nelson. The song playing in the background is called I Sing. Within the conversation, you'll hear a song called Little Daffodil, and towards the end of the conversation, you'll hear the song called Culture Shock. These are all from the album Life Rearranged. After listening to this episode, you can learn more about Kelly Green by going to the website of the podcast, www.doingjazz.net. And you can listen to more episodes of the podcast by subscribing on iTunes, Spotify, and every other podcast vendor out there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I present the truly talented Kelly Green in your face. Alright, so let's do it. Kelly Green,
hi.
Welcome to Doing Jazz.
Thank you.
Good. So what made me contact you was your album. I really enjoyed it. I listened to it. I was telling you earlier that I was at the gym last night and I had it on repeat. I just kept listening to I probably know all the songs by name now, and so I'm just going to let you talk about it. Talk about whatever you want to talk about, the theme, the process, and I'll chime in.
Well, first of all, thank you so very much. That's truly humbling to hear from just a complete stranger, you know? And especially someone who, like you, now I know you have a knowledge of the music, which is an even deeper, sentiment coming from somebody who has a great understanding of the music and a great love for it. So I take that very dearly, and I thank you so much for listening, and everybody who listens at all, at a live show, of the CD, of like my videos that I'm going to start trying to put out more, and recordings. I'm going to try to push myself to put more things out, because I'm really truly a perfectionist, and
it comes across, I must say.
Thank you.
That
yeah.
comes across.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I don't want to as much. I would like to just be free,
It was just well done. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry to cut you short.
No, thank you.
Yeah. So is there a theme to it? What if you let me say, I would say that you're kind of reaffirming the tradition in your own way, in your own unique, well-studied way. That's what I saw in the album. It's like you have this great originals that you arrange the heck out of, but but at the same time they're so authentic to the core. If the first note just tells you that, okay, this person knows where she's coming from, you know, is there a deliberate, I don't know, is there a theme, you know?
To the song selection?
Yeah, to the song selection,
album
to the album, yeah, everything.
Well, so yes, absolutely. Well, it really all started with those first two chords, da, da, do, da, you know, on the piano. And it started when I moved to my new apartment, September 20, what is that? I don't know, 2015. And I played those two chords, and it gave me this really deep emotional reaction.
What song is that?
The first song, Life Rearranged, the title track. Which came from just a personal experience of having to move on from something and recreate my whole existence. And it really made me feel a lot. And I wrote a lot of these songs from those feelings. And I learned a lot of tunes, standards that made me feel that end of a love affair. I mean, that's not on the record, but maybe soon it will be on one that I do. But, things like that, songs like I Should Care, I should let it upset me. But it just
your
doesn't
coloring
get me.
of that song.
Thank you. And I learned songs at that period in my life that the lyrics were identified with what but I also wrote original compositions because they just come to me and then I have to write them down. So awesome. The theme of the album specifically though is just things that relate to human emotion and allow people to understand that they're not alone when they're feeling a certain thing. Everybody goes through the same feelings and processes as a human being, and we all want to be loved and accepted and feel a part of a community, something greater than ourselves. That's awesome. That is life, you know.
Yep.
And so through these songs I emote.
Yeah.
And I allow people to say, wow, she feels like that too. Yes. Oh, cool. Awesome. I know when I listen to something I identify with, it makes me feel really good.
Me too. I noticed a recurring, I don't want to call it interlude. It's like a background mashup of train sounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking on that.
Yeah.
That was my idea. I took my Zoom recorder.
Okay.
Endorsement. Just kidding. Anyway, but I did take it and I brought it with me on a day where I go accompany and teach in New Jersey. And I took all the samples on my route and I took my favorite ones, the one of the keys in the doors, like the door. Yeah. Because also my music is so 1 second you get this vibe of we're chilling in a jazz club sipping wine and there's a vocalist and it's like really chill. And, people associate a certain vibe with that. But then all of a sudden you're in Smalls and people are going insane and the music is really happening and it's really heavy hitting and, culture shock.
Yeah.
And, even Never Will I Marry, the solos can, and other things like The Truth, more instrumental things that are, or if you thought to ask me, there's not even any singing on that. Then all of a sudden you're at the Vanguard or something, So it's just all these different, ultimately, but I don't know. Those are the feelings that, the places that it puts you. People have told me, oh, I feel like I'm back in the 40s or something, when they listen. And I don't know. That's because that's the music I listen to. I love jazz. I listen to jazz all the time because that's my, traditional jazz. I don't know. Whatever. I listen to all different things too. Yeah. Still, I also love Kurt Rosenwinkel and modern music as well. Esperanza.
Yeah.
Lots of different things.
I see some Esperanza route in you. I don't know, that command of your instrument, but your vocals on point.
Oh man, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I'm continually working on that
Yeah.
actually. And piano. I'm really hard on myself, and I love practicing, and I love transcribing. I've been listening to Mulgrew Miller every single day. As you know, I don't know if you got to hear the extra track, but there's a track on my SoundCloud called Carousel.
Okay.
And it's actually included on the Japanese release that just came out.
Oh, okay. The last one I listened to was Life Rearranged Reprise.
Right. There's an extra song on my SoundCloud called Carousel. That's a Mulgrew Miller composition.
Okay.
And Mulgrew Miller was my teacher at William Patterson for 2 semesters. And he's the reason I went to that school and the reason I'm here today. So I really owe him a lot. And we got to feature one of my greatest friends and one of Mulgrew's greatest friends, Steve Nelson, on the vibraphone, playing his song. And
Awesome. I like to get a little selfish. I want to talk about the songs I really like.
No.
Because whenever I listen to an album I admire, or musicians I admire, I listen to the point that I kind of start liking some of them better, liking some of them more than others. I love everything.
Oh, same. Yeah. I'm the same way, of course.
Yeah. I really like Little Daffodil because of the arrangement and because of how, first of all, the lyrics I think are just easy, but at the same time you gave every note your all on that song. But then the arrangement, like the fearlessness when it comes to changing from one rhythm to another, I just like it. Can you talk about that song? Maybe the process involved?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, there was a daffodil in my driveway when I was going to teach.
Really?
Back in Jacksonville, when I lived in Jacksonville, and I had a truck. I had a pickup truck. And I came outside and I was like, I'm on my way to go to teach. Just going rolling, doing my thing, about to go, and I was like, my little daffodil.
That's right.
Just all of a sudden, I just had it in my head. So I whipped out my phone and I just while I'm driving down the street, voice memo, my little daffodil, and so I just record that on my phone. And I'm like, man, this needs another section. That you can't just be that. That's just too small. Years go by, years. And then I'm listening to old voice memos and I'm like, say later, 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 my little daffodil in the driveway so still, my little daffodil, my little daffodil in the driveway so still, my little daffodil. My little daffodil in the driveway so still, my little daffodil. kind of like a Mingus vibe, where it's like all of a sudden, and now we're gonna swing. And I want to do more things like that actually in the future with more of my stuff, where we change just the feeling and just different. I don't know. Nice. I'm constantly evolving. I'm constantly thinking of the next thing. So
I see it. That all those come across. They all come across, and the album it just showcases somebody who pushes herself to who just kept pushing herself to the point that she came out with something so amazing and is gonna keep pushing herself. That's what I hear. And I try to listen to a lot of I don't want to say I would say independent jazz musicians and up and coming artists. I mean, obviously you're going places. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that's how I feel, but I try to like dig into their music and just really see what's going on, Another one I like, Culture Shock, the one I was listening to when you came in. You want to talk about that? It's like free. It's free and it has a lot of, it's like 3 songs in one song, or like at least 2 songs in one song, So how did that come about?
Well, this was right kind of after life got rearranged. And I met this guy from Egypt who was so beautiful. And I was like, wow, okay. But he did not understand me at all. He was like, oh, I love you. I was like, no. We just met. Like, he's only been here for like 7 months, and he was like working at a food cart, know, and I was just like, okay. So I took him to the Natural History Museum, I was like, yeah, like this is, trying to help him with English and just like, I was like, okay, well, let's see, what happens. But ultimately I was like, man, like this guy does not understand my culture. Like he doesn't understand. No, I work hard. I'm a woman. Like, and in his culture, like that's not like, like I'm independent. I like dress how I dress. I work with men frequently, stay up late at night. You just don't get my culture, And I was like, man, I have to tell him, like, I can't hang out with you because, because he obviously had more than just friend feel. I could be his friend, but he obviously, so I was like, and I just wrote it in my notebook and by hand. Yeah. In like this little like music notebook I have. That happens a lot. I'll have an idea and I'll write it in my I have a notebook actually. My friends call it like the book.
I'm not able to do that. I'm just gonna tell you that I'm not able to do that. I just record the voice memo and sometimes I try to figure out the notes. I'm like, oh whatever, I'm just gonna wait till I go to the piano.
Yeah, I just write it in there and then I'll go to the computer and I put it in and then I like, make all the parts and arrange it out fully and so that the guys can read it. Awesome. But yeah, so then it, it just has the different feelings of the different, it has like kind of reggaeton groove, but four, heavy on the 4 feeling. And then it goes into that like kind of Indian raga type vibe with like the pedal, and then it goes into more kind of like Indian Arabic kind of kind of thing. So awesome. And then with the 3, they do it in a round. So that's kind of like the interweaving feelings and interweaving like, I don't know, melody, if you will. Like we're all in the same place but we're kind of not. And sometimes
did you deliberately want that to have a free jazz feel? Because at a certain point in time, it was like, it's like so free. And it kind of gives me like Wayne Shorter, like a kind of Wayne Shorter vibe. It has this, I don't know.
Well, my music was also heavily influenced by the musicians playing it. I mean, I heard Josh and his band and Jonathan Barber and his band and Jovan and his band and Matt Dewanzik is in was in Jovan and is in Jovan's and Jonathan Barber's bands, and they're all great friends of mine, you know. And then I heard. When I wrote this song, I was originally
Barber. Who is
Jonathan
he?
Barber. Oh, he's a drummer, and
drummer,
he's
okay.
the original one in my 6-piece band.
Okay,
but
I think I've seen him perform with.
Kush is incredible, and he did an amazing job on the album with us. But he was actually filling in for Jonathan Barber originally because he was unable to make the original recording session, and I couldn't change it. But
I think I've seen Jonathan Barber.
Of course, he's amazing.
With Alicia Latuja, I think I don't know.
Potentially he plays with a bunch of different people.
Okay.
Right. He's amazing.
Nice.
But so they inspired me, and I was singing the alto parts.
Okay.
And I was like, yo, I just need. And then I heard Mike Troy playing at Smalls, and like he was just really going in. I love his tone. I love the way that he plays, and his use of like tying in the tradition, but also going on and on his own thing. And I was like, man, I should just have a sextet. So I made a sextet with all of them individually, their sounds in mind, while I was writing all this sextet music.
Wow.
So that's the Kelly Green Sextet. I recently just did a arrangement of a song where I stand and sing. Actually, of If I'm Lucky from the album.
Oh, okay.
But for just 3 horns, bass and drums. There's actually a video of it
no
on
piano.
YouTube now. No piano, and I'm standing. Yeah. There's a beautiful video that this guy Roland
the only video I've seen is I'll sing.
Oh yeah. I sing. Yeah.
I sing. Yeah. Now let's keep talking about the musicians you have on the album. Obviously you have Steve Nelson. How many songs did he play on?
He ended up on 2 on the actual album, and then there's Carousel, the bonus track on SoundCloud. And we did record a couple others that did not end up being on the album. We actually recorded a lot of songs. But as you see, the album is already over an hour. So it's kind of an opus. It ended up being. So, you know, I didn't want to, make it too long. But we'll see. I have more plans for the.
I know you do. You don't have to try too hard to convince me about that. I know. Christian McBride, how did that happen?
I work for Jazz House Kids.
Okay.
I am a teaching artist through Jazz House Kids. That's Melissa Walker's project. Christian McBride's wife, and he's obviously very heavily involved as well. He's like the artistic director, and he does a lot of master classes and different things for them. And I've been working for them I think 4 or 5 years now. I started as a TA, and then I was like doing more accompaniment things, and then I started teaching more, and now I'm a full-time teaching artist there. I teach there during the year, teach a class, a couple classes. Nice. And so that's how I know Christian.
Yeah. Now, you do a lot of things. I was on your website. I'm like, whoa, she's like a one-stop shop for a lot of awesome things. You're a composer. So do you compose for other people? Like, do you take composition gigs?
No. I mean, I would love to. Okay. I mean, some people have approached me to do arrangements. Yeah. It hasn't happened yet because I'm end up just being busy, but I would love to. I also would love to put my stuff. I don't know how to do it yet. Maybe someone can help me figure out where to put my songs to be considered for movies and things, because I
think that's gonna happen easily for you. I know some friends who have done that. I mean, one of my songs, somebody took it for a movie, but I haven't even seen the movie, but he just approached me. So but that's something I can look into, and if I find out anything, I'll let you know.
Great. I have to look into it more too. There's a constant list of things to do as very well as an artist.
Yep, I know that. Yeah. Let's go back to the very beginning.
Sure.
Where are you from?
I'm from Florida.
You're from Florida. Where in Florida?
Central Florida.
Okay.
Orlando.
Is it a particular town?
Yeah, I'm from Longwood. Okay. Or Altamont Springs. It's like they're very close.
Okay. So how was it like growing up there in relation to music?
Well, it wasn't necessarily like the specific place. It was the family, you know, like my dad's a bass player and my mom is very artsy and hippie and like just great, you know. So I always just had music. It was just there, you know, always like bass. My dad's a bass player. So
when did you know you wanted to be a performer? Did you? I
mean, like even when I was a kid, I just was like, you know, bursting out there.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I guess I could count to 10 and say my ABCs before I was 1 or something crazy. My mom said.
Wow.
I was like, really? But I don't know. And then I would just sing along with the TV and like with little like videos. And then I just like, my dad got me like, I had this little toy piano as a kid. And, you know, I just always had like the piano, and my dad was like, you got to take piano lessons. I was like, okay. He asked me what I wanted to do really, I guess when I was 7. I was already like playing with this game on the little, you know, keyboard. And I was like, oh, I want to sing. I want to take voice lessons. And he was like, well, you should take piano lessons first. Because as a kid, you know, voice lessons are kind of like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. But
wow. So when you took piano lessons, I'm trying to figure out, because I really admire people who know right from when they're very young that they want to be in the arts. You know, I never went to school for music. I went to school for math, and I teach math now. But I'm just trying to figure you out when it comes to that that department of figuring out what you want to do. So by the time you are in, say, middle school, did you know that you want to be a musician, like as professionally?
It's kind of, I don't know. It never occurred to me. Like I just always was like, music. Like it just never, like I just always did music. Like it was never a question, what are you going to do or what are you going to be? It was just like, like I just like always have like a little song in my head, and I'm always just like kind of like bopping around. Like, I don't know. I'm very, 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 very blessed. You know, I'm very lucky because there's not a bone in my body that doesn't have music in it. So it's kind of like,
that's a blessing.
It is. It really is. I feel super lucky that I can exist off of this, off of being a musician. That's awesome.
Not a lot of people can say that. Not a lot of musicians can say that, you know.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask another question, but let me ask this. So did you go to school for music? Okay. Bachelor's? And
and master's.
And a master's, okay. So where did you go for your undergraduate?
I studied at University of North Florida in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay. And then where did you do your master's?
William Patterson University.
Okay.
In Wayne, New Jersey.
Oh, awesome. So were you in a conservatory in both of them, or?
It was just a jazz studies program, like a bachelor's in music and master's in music performance. Both of them basically jazz studies influenced.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I want to get into learning music with you. How do you learn a song that doesn't have how do you learn a song that's not yours? You know, I have two routes to that question. Since you play and sing, how do you learn a song when you're just playing the melody? You just want to play the melody on the piano. And how do you learn a song when you want to sing and accompany yourself? Do you have a method? I'm trying to learn from you because I play the piano, not 1/10 as good as you, but
well, so I try to constantly be learning standards, tunes that I should know. And I'm like, ooh, gosh, if a singer comes up, I want to be able to accompany them well. Or, if a player comes up, I want to be able to accompany them as well. So there's a huge repertoire, and I'm constantly trying to continue learning the repertoire because that's the language of the music. The more melodies the more ideas you'll have, and the more fluid your improvisations can be.
Mm-hmm.
When I learn a song, I say, okay, I'm going to learn Easy Living.
Mm-hmm.
I look up Easy Living, just for example, you know, just a standard tune. And then I, you know, put it on. I have Tidal. I highly endorse Tidal as a listening streaming service.
Okay.
They pay way more royalties for musicians rather than Spotify. And they have like a really great selection as well. Actually, Christian McBride and Christian Sands both told me about it. They both love it as well.
Awesome.
But so I'll look it up on there. And if there's not that many versions on there, I can also find it on YouTube and whatever or wherever. And I just listen to every version of the song that I can find. And then I just play along with them. So I'm like, oh, wow, like Frank does it in this key and like Nat King Cole does it in this key and like, oh, Billy does it in this key, but Sarah does it in this key. And in this version, they do these changes. Like, so I just listen to each version. And like, also sometimes someone will do it like End of a Love Affair, for instance. Billie Holiday does it as a ballad, but Art Blakey does it as like a swinging, you know? So, and then now my arrangement, I incorporate both. So I just love having that deep understanding, as deep of an understanding as possible of the language and of the music. So then, of course, I know this song. How could you not know it after listening? So I'll just listen all day to the one song. Sometimes there's one version I really like, I'll just put, or like a set of changes I really like, I'll just put that one on repeat, and I'll be able to make sure I can sing the melody, make sure I can sing the bass line. And then once you get to the instrument, it's just there. You just can hear your way through it and all the harmonic possibilities as well, hopefully.
Wow.
And of course, like, you know, as far as lyrics, I have a whole notebook where I transcribe lyrics. So I walk a little too fast. Okay. So I walk a little too fast, and I drive a little too fast. Okay. And I drive a little too fast. Writing it down physically by hand, not typing it, is like, actually Johnny O'Neill recommended to do that. You know,
what does that do?
It imprints it in your mind. Like when you write it down, from listening to it to writing it down. I don't know. There's studies about it. I'm not sure 100% about it. But.
Now, when it comes to singing, you sing very well.
Thank you.
Like you just sing well. How do you incorporate that? Because a lot of musicians who sing and play, sometimes you could tell, if you pay close attention, you could tell that the singing is secondary to them. But in your own case, I couldn't tell when I was listening to your album. I couldn't even think about it, you know. So do you ever like get off the piano and then just say, okay, I'm gonna sing the heck out of this song?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I did on that If I'm Lucky thing, you know, with the sextet arrangement. And I recently did I've done a few gigs where they're like, oh, we need a vocalist. Can you do it? And I'm like, yeah, of course. I'd love to do it. Wow. I love to sing with other pianists and guitar or just bass. I love voice bass duo. One time me and my bass player, Alex.
That's challenging.
Me and Alex Tremblay showed up to a gig in Jersey, and I go in, I'm like, where's the piano? And they're like, what? I was like, hey, you know what? You're glad I didn't come by myself and I brought my bass player today. So we did voice bass duo and it was killing.
Oh, wow.
It was fun. I mean, I gave out some cards.
Nice.
But like, I mean, I'm honestly trying to work on it. Like I'm working on singing better and playing better. You know, that's my goal, is to just get better every day, because I know I'm never going to be the best. You know, Art Tatum exists, like Sarah Vaughan exists, or like they did exist, and their music exists.
There,
we can Mulgrew Miller, man, like listen to that. It's just like, wow, like okay, work cut out for me, you know. But I have to realize it's a journey, and I need to just keep continuing on it. I think.
Nice. One last question about music, about playing.
No, it's my pleasure.
When you're in your recording, from the video, of course it's a video, you could do whatever there, but when you record, when you're playing and singing, do you play and sing when you do you record both the vocals and the piano at the same time?
Yes, this album, we did it live because that's how I perform. You know, I play and sing at the same time. That's how I do it. So I thought, why would it would be so silly of me to do it separately? You know, because I'm used to doing it like that. I have thought about it and said, oh, maybe I should have done them separate to really focus, because obviously it's easier to do one at a time. So that's something to consider and think about. But I wanted to just show what I do.
Yes.
And this is what I do, is I play and sing, you know, and it's what I've kind of always done. So, I mean, and I'm more than glad to just play, and I'm more than glad to just sing as well. But like the special thing I think that I have to offer is doing them at the same time. Yeah. If there's something unique.
But doesn't that pose a challenge when it comes to mixing? Because
it did, but right. But we, you know, we kind of covered the piano, and he put the mic in front of me, and we just did it live. Yeah, no, it's, you know, we didn't do like overdubs and stuff like that. You know, that's why it's a live album. Really, it's just live. We were just in the studio, but there's no, you know, we didn't stop. We just were like, we played the tune, and then that was it. Like even with the solo stuff, I just played and sang it right there. The title track and you know all of it. The intro to, you know, Simple Feelings, the intro to The Truth. Just played and sang it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Did you record everything one day?
2 days.
2 days. Okay.
A small group day and the sextet day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Now we're gonna run it off with a couple fun questions, dumb questions, but difficult questions. You know. So this game is called Turn Up and Mute. What you like just now, how you're feeling at the moment, you say turn up to that and we mute the other. It doesn't mean that you don't like the other one. All right? So you get a game?
Sure.
All right. Diana Krall, Shirley Horn.
Ooh, turn up Shirley Horn.
Okay.
Sorry.
You didn't waste time.
Dude, that's why I did Sunday in New York. Because Shirley Horn's 1 minute and 41 seconds of her swanging that. Woo, yo. Oh my God. Her phrasing, her playing, like everything about Shirley Horn is just like, yes. Like her and like Blossom, you know, with their playing and singing, and Nat King Cole. Like I mean, Diana Krall does her thing too. She's bad, you know. She does her thing too. You know, absolutely. But
all right. This is I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and ask it. You lived in Jacksonville, Florida, right? I did live there for 4 years. Yeah. Okay. I guess this is an obvious choice. Jacksonville, and you live in Harlem now. Which one do you turn up and which one do you mute?
Well, I mean, obviously I've made that decision. I live here. Yeah. So Jacksonville is a great scene too. It's super relaxed. There's nowhere like New York. You know, it really lights a fire. It's like, you better go. Exactly. Because look at all your friends. All of my friends are kick ass. Yeah. I honestly sit home sometimes and I'm like, oh my God, you suck. You are nothing and you can't do anything. Because like all of my friends, I mean, they're just so inspiring. Just looking at what everybody else is doing is just like, oh my God, I better go. I better do this.
That's what New York does to you. Yeah. Makes you keep reevaluating your life. At least that's what it does to me. Yeah. All right. The last one. My Little Daffodil, I Sing. How you feeling right now? It doesn't mean you hate one of your kids, Kelly. Yeah. So like this moment, I mean, I could just really go either way, honestly. You gotta pick one. I guess Little Daffodil, because we were talking about it. Because we're talking about it. Okay. Thank you for choosing that one. Yeah, of course. Oh, when we're doing a new thing with it now, we played it with my sextet at Smalls last Wednesday. Yeah. And I just started doing trading. Fours instead of playing a whole chorus. So me and Matt Dwanzik on bass and piano traded fours, and then I had Josh and Jovan trade fours. Awesome. And it came out super great. I was like, oh, we're gonna do it like that now. That's the other thing too, is when we perform, the songs take on a different life. Yeah. Yeah. Or it's different lives come out, Sometimes multiple lives show up and you're like, whoa, I can do it this way, or I can do it this way, or I can do it this way. Which one do I choose now? Yeah. Awesome. Kelly Green, thank you so much for coming to Doing Jazz. I hope we can do this again.
Thank you for having me. Absolutely.
Nice.
It's great.
Later.
Thank you.